Yeah.
You're talking to a blackjack expert here.
Yeah.
Ryan. Yeah.
Are you?
Oh wait, are we not supposed to tell that on air?
I don't know that I would call myself a blackjack expert.
Would you call yourself a compulsive gambler?
I would be if I had the money.
Did you get to the point
Did
where
you
you were
spend
begging?
all your money on gambling?
Were you
No.
begging for a
No.
comp at the casino? For
No.
like a comp at the buffet?
No.
If you were at Vegas and there was a Star Trek online convention happening at the same time, would you go to that or would you gamble?
Or would you go to the Star Trek
I don't actually like
experience in
Star
Vegas?
Trek. So
What if you walked into the casino and there were 5 blackjack tables and the dealer was a Klingon at one table? And the rest which table would you go to?
Which table plays with the fewest decks?
Well, obviously he's got the fucking.
The great thing is you could have an actual, probably hour-long discussion on that if you got a couple Star Trek
Scruples
fans.
with Ryan, gambling in Star Trek.
When did you start wasting all your money on gambling?
I didn't.
When did you first realize you were an addict, though?
What the hell?
Why?
This whole podcast is we're just waiting to do an intervention here.
Yeah.
With you.
How
What's
many?
going on?
We're trying
Tell
to
us
break
about
the ice
how
with
many-
the jelly
First of all,
beans.
you owe us all a lot of money. Okay.
He tried to say if I would go pick him up 2 scratch-offs, he'd let me review Spore. And then when I brought him, he's like, "No, I need a pull tab too." And the lid from 7-Up because they're running some special.
Did I ever tell you that I worked at a 7-Eleven in high school? And like, did I ever tell you this? I worked at a 7-Eleven in high school with like the 2 other guys who were in my band at the time, and we just like ran the place. The only other guy we ever worked with was this old dude named Ron, who was a compulsive scratch-off dude who should never have been working at a gas station, and he would come in and just take a roll of scratch-offs, like 200, pull them out, take them into the back, scratch them off, then ring them up and get the money.
Were his fingers like permanently
God.
silver?
No, he used the coin, you know? He didn't use his fingers.
I would rather like that his fingers be silver for my vision.
Not gonna lie,
But
when
he did that for a long time.
when I go to the casino, I do hunt down the Star Wars slot machine.
You do?
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to do better at that? Or
No, that's the
you
wheel.
just like
that's,
giving that one your
That's
money?
the Wheel of Fortune
just gonna
one.
feel
That's
at
the one I
ease,
do
though.
better at.
Do you
You're
guys
just
think
gonna
that
feel at ease.
gamers are more likely or less likely to gamble?
There's probably
Oh,
like
gosh.
just like the loosest correlation, if any. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think that gaming like.
I feel like there's a lot of like poker players. You know, but maybe that's just the age group. Like all the young people play poker now.
I think that's probably just a general like age group thing. Before we leave 7-Eleven, I've been waiting for the opportunity to make this public service announcement.
Okay.
While we're still in that 7-Eleven, and I wanted to point out in the past, we talked about how an abusive father can get basically everything he needs to keep his household abusive at the counter of 7-Eleven. But furthermore, a fiend can have a great time there as well. Like if you're ever at a 7-Eleven, and sometimes it might be next to the panty rose, but they're like these miniature roses and they come in a small vial. And if you ever look at that and you're like, I don't know, just because maybe my girlfriend wants to put this on her lapel or something, but really you throw the rose away and the vial is a crack pipe, and it comes with it's open on 2 ends. And same thing when they sell like a Lucy, a single cigarette. It'll come in the same thing, or a cigar, and it'll have the same kind of thing. Those are all just be aware that those are crack pipes. And
Awesome. What a great public service that
I
this
have
podcast
found
is providing.
I have found multiple crack pipes. in
How
front
to
of my
find
front
cheap
door.
crack pipes by GFW Radio.
No, I'm
Sponsored by
actually-
Ziff Davis
I'm
Media.
saying that you
Yeah,
should,
because lots
you
of
should
crackheads
protest.
listen to podcasts.
Ask to speak to the manager. Ask to speak to the manager and demand an answer. Say, what is this for?
Uh-huh.
And he says it's like
It's a mini rose.
good thing our one Mexican cast member did that. We couldn't have got away with it.
Hey, I have a 7-Eleven story.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
I have a friend who used to work at a 7-Eleven many years ago, and I heard the story through him, and he was robbed many times at this 7-Eleven. And, these dudes would come in with guns, make him give them the money and everything. And he was just like, whatever, I'm not taking a bullet for,
It got to the point where he'd leave the register at the fucking door.
It got to the point where, they would come in and just be like, what's up? He'd be like, how's it going? Here's the money. Give me 5 minutes, and I got to call the cops,
He would hear, ding!
And then
and just hit like eject on the cash register tray.
and it got so bad at one point, I guess they brought in like a moving truck and like took the arcade games.
I thought you were gonna say they took the whole like chip aisle.
No, they took the arcade machines, and like he was like they thought he was in on it.
Because it was so
because they
elaborate.
were able to come and take the
Yeah,
arcade.
So
because
in that
he didn't
time,
do
they get like
anything about
a
it.
dolly or something. Or they had like a mini forklift in the back, and they pull that down.
He's like giving him drinks in case they're sweating.
Oh god.
Dude,
I used to hate how like cops would come into 7-Eleven. Working at 7-Eleven, like cops always come in there because you have comp cups that you give cops, like little like styrofoam cups, and they come in and
Sure.
get Cokes and
and
coffee
and it's
and
worth
stuff.
worth your while, because then for the 10 minutes that they're in there, you're not going to get held up.
Yeah, but I was like, in the burbs or in Austin. I worked in both places. But like one time I had my guitar case in the back, and I was like a little punk rocker guy who thought he was like badass, like rebel, and I had this bumper sticker on it that said "Shoot cops, not heroin." And the cop went back there and drank his coffee and was like, "Whose guitar is this?" And I'm like, "Oh, I think that's somebody in the third shift."
Nice. I was going to say I had some friends who in high school pulled their pickup truck to there's this chain used to be called TG&Y, and they pulled up the back of their truck to the front. And when they have all those little like vending machine things where you put your quarters in and turn the crank, and it's like a whole rack of them with like
Caps
8
toys.
of them. Yeah. They just like pulled up their truck and threw that whole fucking thing in the back of their truck and drove away. And for the next week at school, everyone had like 3 like plastic spiders and chiclets.
Oh.